All right, welcome back. We are on Proverbs 12. So let's take a look at a few of these, and we'll start with verse 1. It says, "Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but he who hates reproof is stupid." And that's pretty harsh words from Proverbs, but the idea here is that a wise person, they love discipline because they love knowledge. A wise person understands that that they may make mistakes, and honestly it's okay to make mistakes. Like in this life you are gonna make mistakes. That's part of this. You make a mistake and you learn from that mistake, and it's that learning that comes from the mistake. That's where knowledge comes from. And so the wise person looks at this and says, I don't mind being disciplined, because what it does is it teaches me and it gets me on the right track. It gets me on the right path. So if you were at work or wherever, and you were doing something incorrectly, you would get disciplined, and what that looks like, it can take many forms, but you get disciplined and then you learn. So then you get on the right track, and then you're doing things the right way. Now obviously there's discipline and there's abuse, and again that takes on many forms. But when discipline is done genuinely and with pure intentions, discipline is a good thing. If you are a parent and you would just let your children do whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want, that is not love. That is carelessness. Discipline is an act of love. If your child's doing something incorrectly, you discipline them, and you tell them that that's wrong and this is right, and so that way they know next time that they should do the right thing, or at least they will be more likely to do the right thing. But the foolish person here, they're like, correction, that's dumb, I don't need correction, blah 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 blah. So again, discipline, a good thing. Reproof is a good thing. These are learning, these are teaching moments. All right. Let's look at number 10. It says, "Whoever is righteous has regard for the life of his beast, but the mercy of the wicked is cruel." And so kind of in the context when this was written, this would be talking about livestock, and certainly that's true today. But also, if you have any fur babies or anything like that, this proverb is talking about taking care of them, knowing their needs, not abusing your animals, not neglecting your animals. The wise person understands that back in Genesis, when we were given dominion over the animals, that doesn't mean we can do whatever we want to the animals, whenever we want to the animals. It means that we have to take care of them. We have to tend to their needs. To just go out and abuse an animal, to abuse a pet or whatever the case may be, that's not having dominion over the animals. That's abuse. It's abuse, and that's wrong. And so what this proverb is saying is that, it's the righteous person that has a regard for the life of the animal. But the mercy of the wicked is cruel. The wicked person, they're cruel to their animals. They don't really care. They think, they may quote the Bible and say, I've got dominion over you. Yeah, you're reading the Bible the wrong way, which is a dangerous thing to do. So, now, if your dog only drinks bottled water and it only wears, $600 sweaters, that may be taken a little too far, but at least you're on the right side of things. So, let's move on. Let's go to number 11. "Whoever works his land will have plenty of bread, but he who follows worthless pursuits lacks sense." So again, we've talked about this before. This is the contrast between hard work and laziness. So what this is talking about here is, the person that's working hard, they're working the land, they're going to have plenty of bread. They're going to have plenty of food. They're going to have their needs met. But this other person who's off, chasing butterflies or doing whatever, they're chasing maybe the next get rich quick scheme. And you probably know some of these people that always have some kind of like, if you would just, let me borrow this, then I'll be able to double your money, triple your money over the next 90 minutes or whatever the case is. Hard work is rewarded. Those people's needs will be met. And the person that's chasing these crazy pursuits, it's senseless. It's senseless is what the Bible talks about. Now, some people will say, well, I work hard and I'm not really rewarded at my place of work, and that's a bigger conversation. But again, Proverbs is not a book of promises. It's a book of in general, right? A book of kind of principalities. So in general, this is how things should be. But it's not always the case. Let's look at one more. We'll look at 15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice. And so here we go. Maybe you know this person. Have you ever had anybody ask you for advice and you know full well they're not going to listen to your advice regardless of how good it is? They're only doing it as basically a formality. They're like, hey, what do you think about this? But their mind is already made up. They already know what they're going to do before they even ask. And so Proverbs here would say that this person is a fool. This is the way of a fool because they're asking for advice, but they're not going to listen to it. But the wise person seeks advice. And again, we talked about this in the last video. They seek wise counsel because they want to make sure that they're making the best decision. So they earnestly come to their wise counsel and they ask advice about, hey, what do you think about this? Is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? And they hear that advice and they take it to heart. They don't hear the advice and be like, yeah, good advice, and then they go and do whatever they're going to do anyway. So that's the difference between the wise person and the fool. Proverbs 12. Read it, reread it. It's a beautiful thing, and we will see you in the next video.